Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart Centered Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. And please help me welcome the boys, David and Gary.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome to Talking Tuesdays, the show where we talk about, who's making the news, why are they making the news, and we throw some cards and we read on it. And today we thought we'd take a look at, what happens when you invite the editor in chief of a magazine to come in on a private chat about an attack you're planning. Who knew anything could go wrong?
The irony of the Secretary of Defense saying that the comms are secure too.
Yes.
These are secured comms. No worries here.
Yeah.
It would have been funny if he popped it at that point.
Uh,
Well, what's kind of interesting was they had the Secretary of the Treasury on the group chat. Now that was what Jeffrey Goldberg found most intriguing. I was watching a little clip with him, and he goes, I'm more interested in how the decision-making process happens versus the actual decisions that come from it. And he goes, the one thing I'm absolutely intrigued about is why the Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent was in on these.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's a damn good question. Need to
It
know.
You can understand why the Director of National Intelligence, the CIA, the FBI might be included in those things. Secretary of Defense, sure, why not? But
yes.
Commerce, why not? Health and Human Services and Urban and Housing Development or something like that.
Sure, absolutely. Invite
I'm
everyone.
actually stunned that Elon Musk wasn't roped in on this thing. I mean,
sure he was.
Yeah. So we did have, someone had mentioned, don't forget that one of them was at the Kremlin when the chat was going on. Yes, that was Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, absolutely. Imagine.
And this is Signal is not like this super high secure messaging. Yeah. It's basically in the Biden administration, they used it, but it was a messaging system to say, go check your secure message on this system. It's kind of like getting a notification alert from your Gmail or from WhatsApp saying, hey, you've got a secure message.
Yeah, it's more
getting the message.
It's more secure. It's more secure than your normal Apple chat or something like that.
Yes, it's encrypted, but it can totally be hacked.
But the government has specific apps and their own internet or something along those lines for this to minimize. Yeah, and it's known that the Russians have hacked into Signal already. Absolutely. So let's go to the Kremlin, had this conversation going on when the Russians have hacked into it. That's just brilliance.
Yeah,
sheer brilliance.
Absolutely. I think that the idea that you're having discussions about how you're going to attack another nation. Not only did they do that, but they made some very, very nasty comments about
the EU.
Yeah, about the EU.
Bunch of freeloaders.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody is taking advantage of the U.S. Absolutely everyone. It's like the world got together and came up with this conspiracy that yes, we're all just going to F with the U.S. We're just going to take everything.
Bunch of whiny little victims.
I know.
And then you've got the other thing that was pointed out was that Vance is basically saying, I don't think Trump really understands how this undermines his European position. We should delay a month. And I don't remember which person brought it up. Said foreign adversaries would love to know that there's some daylight between the president and the vice president of the United States. Because they'll totally try and exploit that little wedge there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the other thing that I thought, listening to Trump, and I try really hard not to, but sometimes, entertainment value alone is Okay, I'm willing to put up with it. But he was talking about this oh, it's a failing magazine. It's just, and this guy has a history of, fake news and fake this and fake that.
Yeah, Hegseth was saying that.
Hegseth said he was a deceitful and highly discredited journalist.
And it was pointed out that Hegseth said that after the government confirmed that conversation, that text thing, was authentic.
Yeah.
Yes.
So apparently nobody got to Hegseth to say, don't double down on this. We've already confirmed it's real. So it makes Hegseth just look that much more like a ridiculous idiot.
Absolutely.
Which is like to be celebrated in this country, apparently.
Yes.
The hermit finally shone the light on somebody.
Yes. Yeah. And
there he is.
Yeah,
we now know who the snake represents.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm sure that he probably was doing that, throughout the whole thing and whatnot.
It looks like he picked the wrong week to stop drinking.
Yes. Absolutely.
Stop sniffing glue.
Absolutely. So, one of the things that I thought that we might kind of take a look at is, we can go down the list or whatnot, but this is gathering a little momentum. And first thing I want to look at is, are the Democrats going to do something about this, or are they just going to sit back and go, well, they said it was a mistake and they've learned their lesson?
It's hard sometimes to know because you're a victim of the media, what the media is going to show you. So for all we know, they're kicking and screaming and making a fuss, and the media is only going to show clipped of the defenses and none of the anger and vitriol. It's something to keep in mind.
Yes.
That being said, social media is free for both sides.
Yes. Yeah. And while the boys are putting down their cards, I'll just say hello to everyone who has joined us. Thank you for being here with us and for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And in the description of the video, I've got David's link in there, Tarot by the Bay, and Gary, Twin Tarot. So yeah, give them a little helping hand. They need it. They're getting very, very close to achieving a milestone. So, help them get over the
1,000 drivers.
It's only identical first cousins can do.
Yes, there you go.
The Democrats are at an interesting crossroads. They've been handed an opportunity, huge opportunity to address this. And underneath it is, will you use that opportunity wisely? Center underneath it is the Nine of Swords. This, and I think this is a quandary. It's like, how hard do we push on? We can make this a nightmare for the Republicans because of the double standards with Hillary Clinton and her private server. But it's like national secrets and not, making the country weaker through national secrets versus, hey, exposing it, the hypocrisy, and just holding as one, I think it was a Midas touch, holding their feet to the lava, hold their feet to the fire. And honest to God, this is the time for, if the Democrats were looking for a sign to show some aggression, some backbone, and, wave the patriotic, we support the troops flag type thing. This is it. They couldn't be handed a better opportunity.
Exactly.
And I hope Chuck Schumer resigns his position as leader of this minority leader of the Senate, let somebody else take over who might actually do something. And I'm not so sure I don't want Hakeem Jeffries to step down either, because I haven't heard anything from either one of those guys.
Yeah.
Grr.
I know.
That's my take on it.
What'd you get, Gary?
Okay, so I was throwing on how is the general public going to react to this? Although I think the cards I'm getting are more how the Democrats are going to play this. So maybe there's a linkage between how the Democrats play this and how the public reacts. But I got the foundation of the reading is the star. Trump and his merry band of misfits, especially for the Republicans. Hey man, he's their star. He's their leader. He's the man. He can do no wrong. Underneath it, you've got the Knight of Wands, but there's this. Basically, Trump's government was taking actions. They were going to win at all costs. And these are things that should be kept secret. We shouldn't be showing these secrets to our enemies, because after all, we're supporting our emperor. So it's one of those things. I don't think this is going to affect MAGA in the least. I think they're going to be just totally okay with this.
Yeah,
it's a cult. It's a cult. What you're hoping to do now is strip off some folks in the military and their spouses and their families. That's what you strip off from this.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those death of 1,000 cut type of things.
Yeah. You want to strip off current military and former military. A fellow that I'm no longer in communication with, that I went to college with, that was a lieutenant colonel in the Army. This would be one of those things that, come on, man, you've got to step away. You've got to put some daylight between you and this administration over this. Please do not make up an excuse for them, because I know he handled classified material, and he knows exactly how quickly his ass would be in prison if he did anything remotely close to what these guys just did. And if he's going to be held accountable, he has no problem with other people being held accountable.
Exactly.
Personality-wise.
Yeah. I started off with temperance, and that I'm not surprised, because the Democrats are always worried about how things look, and being the balanced one in the room and so on. Nine of Pentacles. Yes, they have been handed a fabulous opportunity to do something with this, and the leadership is sitting back. King of Cups. They are discussing in terms of, well, yes, what if some of our national secrets get out, and so on and so forth. Dude, they're already out there. Like, you're not kidding anyone, right? No. They're out there. I think that what they're going to do is this ends in heartache, because they don't take advantage of it. They walk away because national security and so on and so forth. I am more and more disillusioned with the Democrats. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's that. Are we going to see a push maybe for any resignations to come out?
Like David S. was just asking about, like, Pete Hegseth. Will be exit stage left sooner rather than later? When I did my reading last night, I got the Nine of Wands as like that card of, they're just literally waiting to see if they actually need to do anything. Right now, my gut tells me no. My gut tells me they are just going to double down. The fact that Tulsi Gabbard's out there saying that this is not classified material. Yes. When it's really, so I would have thought naming Western weapon systems and troop movements and stuff like that would be classified. Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't know of a specific weapon system that was named. And it's like, that's not what I said. So they're parsing words, which is always a good sign that they are trying to. I never lied. I said specific names for weapon systems, not weapon systems. I didn't say weapon systems weren't named. Not just Harry the weapon system versus Patriot. Or Heimers or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I got jumpers all over the place.
And Mike Johnson's like, oh, it's no big deal. I think Dave's absolutely right. They are going to try and whitewash this and not do anything for as long as possible to see what's going to happen. So I expect the Four Swords somewhere in this read.
I got that in my last. I got that in my reading about yeah, for the Democrats. That's what they're battling against, exposing it versus the Republicans putting it to sleep. And I think that's exactly what the Republicans are going to do. Okay, firings here. Oh, and apparently Trump was also backing the national security advisor, who was allegedly the one that invited the reporter on there in the first place. Doubling down his support on that, I read.
Yeah, Mike Walls, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Mike Walls was one, and as I recall, I think I did a reading on him. He was one of the congressmen that got appointed to this position, which opened up his House of Representatives seat. I think in Georgia.
Alrighty. Go ahead, David.
I'm getting the question is are they going to let anybody go? Right now they're evaluating the situation. They know they might need to do it, that they might have to sacrifice somebody. But, on the one hand, you've got the burden of, it's like, yeah, we can make it difficult to get rid of. We can make it difficult on that one. And we're in charge. We don't have to do this if we don't want to do this. We might have to do some lifting for a while and, have some egg on our faces here. But underneath is the Page of Pentacles. It's that messaging, messaging of values. And again, I really think if they do, it would be the Mike Walls type person, or they're going to have like Mike Walls' secretary's assistant be fired for setting up the Signal account or something. It's not going to be, it won't be Hegseth. It won't be Tulsi Gabbard. It won't be anybody of note. It might be Mike Walls at the very best.
Yeah. So, somebody who's not really overly high up there. I agree with you. It's Two of Pentacles. They are reviewing to see what they can do and what their options are. I think that they have a good deal of faith in the fact that they may not have to do anything.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. That it's this just becomes another headline in the thousands of headlines about what's going on, and they'll create a diversion. They'll do something to kind of take the heat off, right? The Queen of Pentacles, don't look here, look over there, and give this a chance. You were looking for the Four of Swords. There it is. There it is. Yeah, give this a chance to die down, to make it into something that they can explain away. Oh, it was just you're panicking over nothing. It wasn't anything important. We can't tell you what we discussed because, there might be some national secrets, but trust me. Yeah.
No, it's all declassified. Nothing to see here.
Exactly.
I got the Foundation. I got the Three of Swords. They don't want to.
Yes.
Because this is Trump's special picked team of advisors, to keep him from getting 25th amended by anybody, right? This is, so you got the Three of Swords was the Foundation. The main clarifier is the Nine of Wands. Let's just see if this goes away or not.
If exactly what I got last night. Exactly what I was getting last night.
Got the other clarifiers. You got the Ten of Pentacles. We're worried about the money coming in and Trump's legacy, and then flanked by the Nine of Pentacles. And we want to keep the grift. We want everything going forward the way it's going. Underneath it all, though, they're worried about the messaging and how MAGA is going to react if no one is held accountable, because this is the party of accountability after all.
Yes, I must admit, and I can't remember who it was that tried to pull this stunt, but they were blaming Biden.
Yeah,
of course they were blaming Biden because they followed the rules that were set out by the Biden
administration, right? And that's where I had read that someone pointed out, it's like the Biden administration, their policy was, this is just a notification to go check somewhere else go to the secure place and go check the information that you need to check out.
Crazy. Now, someone, and I forgot to star it, but I think someone had asked if maybe this was done on purpose.
I saw that.
Thank you, Cynthia. I missed that before. Yeah, was this done on purpose?
I have a hard time understanding what the end game would be doing it on purpose. Well, I mean, did they talk a signal on purpose? Absolutely, they did, because they're probably. I think was it the presidential there's like a Freedom of Information Act stuff that they don't have to retain these records if they're on signal, so they didn't want this to be on the official record. I don't see a benefit of inviting a journalist in on the conversation and exposing it, because I don't see what the upside is. Because if there was an upside to it, the Trump administration would have already had messaging ready to go.
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't. And not only that, dipshit von Shittenpants there.
Yes.
Act like I don't know what's going on. And that isn't exactly make him look strong and on top of things.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time.
Yeah.
Maybe he just doesn't have signal on the golf course. Maybe
It could be. Yeah.
The signal zone.
Could be.
Now,
go ahead.
That being said, was this done on purpose? 4 of Wands, opening day. 9 of Swords, center underneath it, the headache. Interesting. Page of Swords in the Emperor. And underneath is the 10 of Cups. I wouldn't be surprised. Remember I said they were going to try and find his secretary's aide and fire that person? I wouldn't be surprised if the secretary's aide snuck that name in there to out what these guys were doing. Let's out what they're doing, make life miserable for the emperor, and upend the Republican Party. It would not surprise me if Mike Walz's wife, he lets his phone down there and one of the kids got to it. I can't think of a good scenario on that one, but certainly. I guess the other question is, and I forget what the reporter's name, but they're like Jeffrey or something like that. The first name is
Jeffrey Goldberg.
Which JE or which J letter name were they trying to add to that? If you ever send an Outlook mail at work or something that, you start typing in the name, you type in David. I've gotten messages for somebody in a different department because somebody started typing David, my name auto-populated, and they didn't double check it when they hit return to go to the next name. So I'm curious who the J person was. Back to the Commerce Secretary. So if it wasn't this guy, who were you trying to invite to that? Mm-hmm. Jared Kushner, somebody said out there, possibly.
Maybe. I think that someone of no consequence is going to take the heat for this, because I get the four of cups. Yeah, the 4 of Cups. Yeah, someone is going to need to walk away. I don't think that it's going to be anyone of note. So, it doesn't matter. It's going to be someone that no one has ever heard of. And they'll probably be shuffled off to a different department, until the heat dies down a little bit. I do think that it could happen fairly quickly, but it's also going to depend on how they present the messaging to the people. Is this going to be, someone made a mistake, or is it going to be, we have to be a little more careful about who we allow access to things. So,
and they can't do anything about it. If you think about it, because the messaging is the information is declassified, it's no big deal, then it's no big deal that this person, whoever it was, let's say it was sabotage or a mole, leaked it out. Now, if they said it was classified, whoever leaked it out, they could find themselves in prison for a decade for doing something like that. But if they're going to say no, it's not, then they've been outed, and the person who did it's going to get away scot-free.
Yep, could be.
So, just for your curiosity, Dave, do you know who the United States Trade Representative is in Trump's cabinet?
Jeff Goldblum, the actor.
Jameson Greer. Now, if they got the Secretary of the Treasury or whatever, what was it? It was the Secretary of the Treasury on it. I mean, the United States Trade Representative probably doesn't need to be on there, but coincidentally, his initials happen to be JG.
Interesting.
So, was this done on purpose? Okay, so there was a bunch of people chatting and
in the dark,
commiserating. They were basically saying, "Hey, stick around and wait to see what happens." There were actions that were going to be taken across on the other side of the world, and it's going to have impacts on the other side of the world. And you got underneath is a page of source. I think it was just a rookie mistake. They were basically showing off, and they made a mistake.
Wow.
I don't think it was done on purpose. But to Dave's point, they would have denied this, except that it went to someone that has receipts.
Right.
Yes.
And think about the quandary that the reporter's in now. Because what do you do with this? It's not like you can go to the FBI, the director of DNI, or CIA, because they're all in the chat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who do you go to? You can't go to your intelligence agencies with this. What do you do with it?
Yeah. Yep. CIA was there. FBI was there. Yeah.
National Intelligence was there. The Commerce Secretary was there. Secretary of State, Vice President.
Oh yeah. This guy's phone's ringing off the hook now.
Oh, no doubt.
King Charles would like to have a word with you. Why don't you come visit him at the palace?
God.
Absolutely. They really, really stepped into it. And more than anything else, I think that what they showed was just how incompetent people in these key positions really, truly are.
Yeah, and that may be what that page of swords is. It's just like you got a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing, and they're going out there and being sloppy and reckless.
Yes.
Just completely. Yes. It's not even the B team. It's like the C team, the walk-on C team. People that should be watching from the stands, not actually in the game.
Yes. Absolutely. All righty. So moving on, and I did notice that someone had mentioned that Michael Waltz on Fox apparently was going to take responsibility for it. Whether he has or not,
I don't know. You, Michael.
It is Fox News, so I don't know. Still, I don't think anyone is going to really do anything about it. But the other thing that I thought that we could take a look at is some of the. Oh, thank you, Eleanor. That is very generous. Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you.
And I wanted to take a look and see now that the EU countries have heard kind of from the horse's mouth that they're not going to get support, right? They're in this on their own, and you cannot rely on the U.S. regardless of who comes over, what their title is, and who says to you, "Oh, don't worry about it. We got this under control." How how are some of the EU countries feeling right now, aside from, as one of them said, sick to their stomach? So what's a general energy over in the motherland? Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Well, all righty. Who wants to go first?
Underneath it, I've got secrets revealed with the high priestess, and then at the top, page of pentacles. So messaging about values, new opportunity, kind of like a new opportunity going forward here. Center underneath it is the 10 of coins. So basically, the U.S. is saying that the EU is a giant pain in the ass and they're a bunch of freeloaders.
Yes.
And now the EU has got to make a decision. Do they stick with the United States and be considered freeloaders, or do they walk away? I think the EU is going to make a decision that they cannot, certainly for not the next 4 years, they can't trust this government. And for the foreseeable future, they cannot trust the United States. So their only option is to go their own way and fund their own group, like a NATO or European Union army. There's going to be a financial and military separation from the U.S. because you can't trust the U.S. right now. You just can't, and I can't blame them for that. I did hear something about Germany basically passed a constitutional amendment back during the financial meltdown that was a balance, what would be the equivalent of a balanced budget amendment for their constitution. They recently just put a major caveat in there. There were some reasons why you could deviate from the balanced budget amendment. Mm-hmm. And they just added a $1 trillion exception in there in case there needed to be a rapid buildup of something. And they've approved that. So $1 trillion is going to be spent building up the military, battling climate change, and building infrastructure and things along those lines. So Germany is already looking for a path forward that looks like we are going to turn away from the United States and become independent or dependent on ourselves and not the U.S.
Yeah. I think you're right. The cards that I got are really, really interesting. I start off with the 6 of Swords. They a lot of the countries realize that they cannot count on the U.S. They need to walk away from the drama and they need to kind of look after things on their own. They absolutely cannot have any faith in anything that is coming out of the U.S. I then get the Hermit. That they're taking cautious steps forward because now that they know what they're looking for, they're going to be a little better able to see the snake as it comes in with all kinds of promises and so on and so forth. They are at this point, they are worried with the 9 of Swords. In the fact that they cannot rely on the U.S. for either intelligence, for support, for nothing. It's really, they are really truly standing on their own. That may not be a bad thing because I end up then with the Strength card. I think that this could shore up the EU to be a little more independent, to not be you can be a group of countries that are working together. Just don't put too many of your eggs in a basket that you don't know who's holding. So I think ultimately this works out well for them. But it is causing them grief and concern. But they're gonna move forward on their own.
All right. So I got the foundation of the reading is the moon. So it's like, well, we were confused. You're starting to shine a light on the path we need to take forward. To talk on Dave's point there. Our relationship with the United States was not on the foundation that we thought it was.
Yes.
We need to sort of reassess our emotional relationship with these folks for the United States for at least the next 4 years.
Man, have a few major arcana there, huh?
Yeah, and we're gonna have to start shouldering more of the burden ourselves.
Yes.
But if we do that, we will celebrate because now Trump has proven yet again that the European is a union. Europe is a union, and this is going to bring them together. Just one more thing. Once again, death by 1,000,000 cuts or 1,000 cuts. This won't take down Trump, but it's one of the it's starting to knock a domino out of place.
Yes. Yeah, I think
you ever play the game Kerplunk?
Yes.
Yeah, you just pulled another straw out of that. The plastic tube. The marbles are starting to teeter a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're still on Europe, now that they have a much better sense of what's going on and who they're dealing with and who they can and cannot rely on, is this going to be something that is going to work in Ukraine's favor? Again, thank you guys for being here. This is love each and every one of you, and I love the conversations that you're having between each other. That is fabulous. I'll just remind you again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Holy Christ. My answer is very clear.
Oh, okay. You go first then.
So is this going to benefit Ukraine? I guess it's clear in as much as what the cards are saying. It's just how do I interpret what the cards are saying?
Yes.
Okay. Foundation of the reading, the 3 of Swords. Okay, so heartbreak and betrayal. Main clarifier is the Death card, bringing an end to the cycle. The 10 of Swords, nothing more can hurt you. The 7 of Pentacles, looking at your options. And underneath it is the Devil card.
Holy
I think what this is telling me is that
kind of vague.
Yeah. Is that Ukraine is basically going to unplug from the United States and they're going to plug into the European Union. That's kind of what this card is telling me, and this card. You're in this war. You've been attached to the United States, really leveraging their technology, but we need to go look at other places because it's not just that the United States is not a reliable ally, but if they're communicating classified military plans through this Signal app, and it can easily be hacked and known to have been hacked, you're putting Ukraine's national security at risk. And they may have to say that, we need to separate ourselves from the United States, not rely so much on the United States. That's the most positive reading I can put on that.
Yes. What you got, David?
Ukraine's going to be looking at the allies. Who's there to help them when they need help? Underneath it all is no longer are they believing everything that they're told. They're going to actually see who's walking the walk. They have a decision to make, but I don't think it's an either or decision. It's an and decision. They want somebody who's going to stand up for Ukraine and, like a world court type thing, who's going to try. who's going to stand up for them, say that they were invaded, Russia's committed crimes against humanity, so on and so forth, and who's going to help with reparations? Who's going to help them finance this war and then reparations afterwards? Trump has made it really clear that he has no interest in sending any money or aid to the Ukraine, which now means that it's up to Europe to do it, and Europe has been signing deals and sending arms and armaments over to Ukraine. So that's totally everything I need to know as far as that goes.
Yeah, I think they are. Ukraine doesn't really like with the King of Cups. They're not happy about knowing, or at least, I mean, they've always known that they couldn't really trust the U.S. So this is just kind of confirmation, and it's confirmation to the other countries that they couldn't quite trust them either. I also get. Hold on. I also get the Five of Cups in terms of them knowing that this is something that they might need to do on their own. They are going to need to approach other allies, and I think this might bring out a lot more information about kind of some of the things that have been going on behind the scenes, some of the encouragements that maybe Zelensky was told to take that may or may not be in their best interest. I think the sword of truth is going to play a big portion of this, and I think also the Wheel of Fortune. I think that they've always known that they couldn't really trust the U.S. Now it's just a little more confirmed, and I think they're going to be looking for closer to home to get that support. And I think that they'll probably will get it, because most of the countries in and around Europe are, if they didn't realize up until now that if Ukraine falls, they fall, I think maybe they're starting to clue in a little. Crazy. Okay, and then one of the other things that I had in here, hold on, and this is, I call this from the WTF file. Yes. All right. So Mike Johnson said that the Signal group chat was a mistake, and the White House will make sure that it doesn't happen again. They've learned their lesson. It was a mistake.
The Democrats are the party of forgiveness and compassion. Oh, wait a minute. No, we're not. Elon Musk said that we weren't anymore.
The CIA director couldn't even say it was a big mistake. Maybe the word "big" was too much for him.
Yes. Yeah. So he was in the news conference that he had or whatnot. He was doing his very best to just appear very, very calm. He wasn't raising his voice. It was just a mistake, folks. Really. So
gaslight much?
Yeah. Is anybody really buying it?
That's what it looks like they're trying to do. They're trying to find the message that resonates that they can go with.
Yeah. It's just clerical error. Nothing important was brought up.
So what are we reading on exactly?
I don't like your tone, Gary.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm reading on. It's like, yes.
How is that different?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so yeah, he said it wasn't a big deal. La da 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 da. Is that going to be the successful messaging?
Is anybody? Yeah. Well, basically, is anybody buying it? The people that are hearing it. Is anybody saying, "Well, of course, it's just a mistake," right? Is anybody buying it?
They're trying their hardest to find the messaging, to find what's going to resonate with people, and eventually they're going to find it. Once they find it, they're going to stick to it. But it's going to rely on the gullibility of the red hats and playing towards the Republican strength of gaslighting, patriotism, and such. They're going to they will keep going forward with this, trying to find they're in a minefield right now and they don't know the way out. And they're looking for a way out, and they're trying not to throw anybody under the bus while they do that. And they may not be able to. But they also kind of, with the strength card, their base won't care. They're just too damn stupid. It's
admitting you're wrong. It's admitting that you made a bad decision, and
which never happens.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you were saying, Dave. You pivoted from MAGA doesn't need to admit they're wrong. They just have to admit that they've been lied to, right? So lower the bar for them, and don't make it so personal. But it's one of those situations where the Republicans, I don't think, are going to be able to spin it, because all the receipts are out there. You cannot spin this anyway. So it's just, can you? I think you hit on it earlier. Can you make a visit to Fort Knox? Can you launch? Go attack Greenland or something to get the attention off of this and hope it goes away. Get it out of the news cycle.
Yeah. I think there's you're right in that they're making a decision on how it is that they're going to put this out there, how it is that they're going to let it play, and who on the Democratic side can they lay this at their feet and say, well, looking for a way to to message it. I don't know if they're going to be overly successful. I get the sun card, because followed by the moon card. I'm not sure if they're going to be successful, because there are people out there who know a little more than they should. They might be having some doubts about the messaging that is coming in from the Republicans. And when I first saw the moon card, what came to me is, okay, they don't know yet what this Jeffrey Goldberg, what he's liable to do. He's got the information. So if they don't know, is he going to release the rest of the information? What are they going to do? Are they going to charge him under the Espionage Act? Well, that would imply that there was something confidential that was going on. But they have stated over and over and over again that there was nothing confidential. So I think for right now, I think what they're doing is, they're looking for a way to spin the message, but also trying to control what the message is. I think it's going to be a little bit of a burden. I think it may take them a little time to come up with a story.
Yeah, so once again, I start with the foundation is the Three of Swords. This is that heartbreak and betrayal, not happy with how things are going. The main clarifiers, we've got this relationship between MAGA and the Republicans in office, and we've just really proven that it's as bad as the Democrats are saying.
Yes.
They're hoping that they'll just sort of not get emotional and they'll just ignore it and go away, and that this will come to an end, and that they're as naive and forgiving as we think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just going to try and keep shoveling dirt on this thing and hope that the zombie doesn't climb out from underneath it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Someone mentioned, did anyone see Pete Buttigieg? Yes, I did. And oh my gosh, he swore. He said the F word, okay? And you know he's got to be terribly angry. Sorry? Oh, sorry. My son just came in. He must have heard me. And he wore, epic F up. So, yes. Epic.
Oh, I thought maybe Meister was visiting you from Libby's ear, and he just popped in over your webcam.
Oh, listen, I have been hearing a little. I've been hearing her guides a little more ever since that she did the one video where and I could hear Starlink, and so I'm hearing a little more. Okay, all right, and while we continue to stay on the WTF file, here's something really interesting. Johnson also flaunts the idea of having Congress eliminate some federal courts and judges, particularly those judges who rule against Trump. And
of course.
Yes, and I mean it's all above board, folks. Don't What he said was, let me make sure I get this right. We have the authority over federal courts, as you know. We can eliminate an entire district court. We have power over of funding over the courts and all these other things. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and Congress is going to act.
Wow, Congress will actually do something. I'll be stunned. Knock me over with a feather.
Yes. So I don't know whether to call this the next distraction, whether this is something that they're seriously going to look into. Will they actually try to shut down some federal courts?
Oh, jeez. Oh, God. It's a distraction. Let's howl at the moon a little bit. And the reason why I'm laughing is as I turn my cards here, look what two cards showed up. The Knight of Wands and the King of Wands. Remember they were trying to find their way out and take the strongman approach? This is one of those distractions. Try and make a big deal, a big splashy thing where there's no, we're going to hold the purse strings on these guys. It's going nowhere. This is just another attempt to try and change the news cycle to something more favorable to them. That's all. This is smoke mirrors. This is a bluff. This is trying to get, don't look over there, look over here type of thing.
Yeah. Wow. I pulled 5 cards and 4 of them are major arcana. So I start off with the moon, trying to get people riled up and emotional about this. This is not, it's not that intuitive thinking. It's just kind of throw something up against the wall. What are they throwing up against the wall? The government, the Hierophant. We know what's best for you. We'll take care of things. Don't worry about it. What magical thinking. We can do whatever we want. We have the power. Trying to come up with agreements and getting people on board with the Lovers and ending with the Ace of Cups. I think you're right, David. This is just something thrown out there to for little minds to be occupied with, and um, yeah, it does not feel real.
Hey, Gary.
Yeah.
Nico's wagging his tail in your kitchen.
I know. He made good time if he got from your lap to my kitchen that quickly.
Yes.
He's keeping really good time.
Yeah,
Yes, he is.
He's got a teleportation device. So I've got the Six of Wands. You know, hey, this is a way we can be victorious. You know, my cards are basically agreeing with David's that this is just a distraction. We need to come up with a quick victory. We need to get this whole signal thing out of the news cycle.
Yes.
And here's the court member that Dave was missing. You know, we got to show everyone how busy we are. We're doing so many things of value, but underneath it, sorrow. 5 of Cups. This is not going to work out.
Yeah.
It's, you know, womp try.
Totally. And it's funny you say that because, yeah, as I was listening to Trump talking about this signal thing and whatnot, and he mentioned that, oh no, what's happening? This is just kind of a distraction from all the great things we've done. We've had the most successful 2 months ever of any administration in the history of time. And you know, we've done all these great things, and yeah, you know, this everyone is out to get us because we're doing such a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly,
yeah, that's the messaging they're giving MAGA, is that, you know, Musk was saying that the reason why Teslas are getting vandalized and all this is because they're finding so much fraud that they're trying to silence Doge. Like, really? Okay. You can spin that way if you want, I suppose.
the sharpest crayons on the box, they're supported 8 crayons straight out of the box. I mean,
absolutely. And you know what? Let's end on a high note. And yes, for those who don't know, Canada is going to the polls on April the 28th. Yay! I love our short election cycles.
Amen.
Yeah, the election is announced. Boom! It's like, you know, 5-6 weeks later, we're at the polls. It's done. There's none of this going on for years and years and years, and you know, people getting just getting tired of the election cycles. So just quick, what do your cards say about the possible victory in Canada? Who's it going to be? Is it going to be the Liberals or the Conservatives? Thank you, Steve Myers. Yeah. And yeah, we do have a few more parties in a San Potato, yes, but they're really not. You know, they're not kind of big league players. Not really, not on the Canadian stage. Like the Bloc Québécois is very popular in Quebec, but they don't hold a lot of seats outside of Quebec. The Green Party, yeah, you know, they kind of hang in there. They've got their little pockets of support here and there. The NDP, you know, very, very much kind of along the same thing where they've got their little pockets of support. But primarily it's the Liberals under Mark Carney and the Conservatives under Pierre Poilievre. Yeah. So, whoops. Oh, somebody's worried. Somebody's worried. Okay. Whoever's got cards down, go.
I'm going to say it's somebody who's messaging about money and is good with money. I got the Ace of Coins underneath and the Page of Pentacles on top. Nine of Swords, it's like a hard charging, things happening quickly, kind of like calling the snap elections.
Yes.
And this might be where we overlap. I got the Nine of Swords to go with the Moon card. It's like it's a calculated risk. This person, they're not sure what the result is going to be, but for the Liberal Party, for instance, under Trudeau for the last probably 18 months or so, things have been degrading slowly and just without an end. It was spiraling down, and an opportunity has now come up to sort of redeem yourself with a new message. So you charge and take advantage of that message. Do you know how it's going to turn out? No. And it may not be good times in Canada after the elections. If the tariffs go in place, it could really hurt the Canadian economy as well as the U.S. economy. So it may not be, heady times in Canada. But right now with those cards, and those cards, I would say it's going to be Carney. Will he have a majority government? Maybe that's what the Nine of Swords is. Maybe not. Maybe you're going to have to still have a minority government and a coalition government.
Yeah, I think so. And Celtic Seer said it's going to be a close race. Both of them have quite a few planets in Virgo. Pierre Poilievre is a showman like Trump, but Carney has the experience. Yes, Carney has the experience. Okay. What'd you get, Gary?
Well, I've got the foundation is the Three of Pentacles, which I initially, my gut feeling on that initially was it's going to be a coalition government.
Yeah, that's how I would go with it.
The clarifier, though, is the World card. So I don't know if this is someone who has worldly experience or if this is going to be the end of a cycle. That's where I'm kind of like, it's going to be a new path, a new direction. We don't know how it's going to turn out, but whoever's underneath it, it's someone who's bringing something new, whether it's something of value, whether it's money or new ideas or a new direction. I don't know who that. I don't know enough about the Canadian politicians to know who that fits.
Still think it's Carney because he was the leader of was it the World Bank or the Bank of England or something like that. He had a huge financial.
Yeah, both. He was the governor of the Bank of Canada, and then he went on to become the governor of the Bank of England.
Okay.
So he was the one who kind of steered Canada through a lot of the 2008, 2009 financial crisis that we were going through at the same time that the rest of the world was. So, he did a good job. And a governor of the Bank of England, he, up until he was hired into that position, that job was always held by someone who was British, who was from England. So, the fact that he was hired into that position speaks volumes. And yes, he did. He tried to be the voice of reason against Brexit. So, yeah, I think it's funny. I start off with the Nine of Swords in that, there is worry about this. And I'm just going to give you the cards and then I'm going to tell you what I think. So we got the Nine of Swords, got the Eight of Swords. This is a situation of someone's own making. I get the Five of Wands, the fighting, things are not working out the way that they wanted to. The Queen of Pentacles, and then the Eight of Wands. So when I put these out, I thought, okay, all right, this feels like a Carney win, because I think what I'm looking at here is Pierre Polyev really went out of his way to kind of cause as much grief as he could. He did. Trudeau resigned. So now he's worried. He's thinking about, oh shite, what have I done? Right? This is a situation of his own making. He's dealing with people who are arguing with him, who are, letting him know that this maybe was not a good decision, and they're seeing Carney as having with the Queen of Pentacles. Sorry, I said 9. The Queen of Pentacles. He's got the experience. He knows what he's doing. So I think that people want him in there fairly quickly. So I'm thinking, entirely possible that it is going to be a liberal government. I hope that it is, but I do agree with both of you that is it going to be a minority or a majority government still? Yeah. And yes, Celtic Seer, PP is from Calgary. That is my neck of the woods. I'm in Calgary. I do not know the man, nor do I wish to know him. Okay. There you go. Yeah. So that's that. Well, you guys, I'm not going to keep you any longer because we're just over an hour. But thank you for doing this with me every 2 weeks. You know how much I enjoy it.
We enjoy it too.
Good. I'm glad. So thank you to all of you who have come in. Thank you for your participation and the chit chat back and forth. You're absolutely fabulous. And once again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. And oh boy, I'm sure we're going to have lots to talk about because we'll be over that, over the eclipse energy, or at least I hope that we will be. But hey, come in and enjoy the ride with us. So, all right. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you all later. Bye for now.
Take care, everyone. Have a good night.